cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
You have a drunk Bailey's from a shoe?
All right, welcome into the View from C-Deck, and it's time to take a look at the overall scenery of college football and the college football playoff. And it's a topic that's always popular this time of year, the sleepers to make the college football playoff. And I'm going to start off in the Big Ten here. That's the Direwolf, by the way, and I'm just Matt, and this is the View from C-Deck. And like, subscribe, check us out for lots of awesome college football content all the time, and me yelling about how Illinois is not a sleeper. I'm going to start right there, Direwolf. Everybody's picking them. Tell me why they are the sleeper or how they are a sleeper.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense when the top 12 teams make the playoff and they're ranked 13th.
They're 12th in the coaches poll.
How in the hell could he be considered a sleeper? To me, a sleeper means unranked or at the very worst, maybe 23rd is a sleeper.
Somebody who's being slept on. Clearly, Illinois is not by the only one. Ironically for us, though, a couple of gambling boys, a couple of guys like to throw a little coin down on the games. The one that's sleeping on them is Vegas. So even though all these people are picking them as their sleeper and they're ranked 12th, do you know what their over-under right now is at Vegas?
The wins? Hold on, let me guess. Based off of your tone there, I'm going to say 8.5.
7.5 right now. But it's minus minus 175.
Whoa.
So usually by that point it'll tilt up to 8.5. But if it's 8.5, it was in some books, I believe, but it was like plus 140 on 8.5 wins. So if you believe they are a sleeper, you better run with your little fistful of money up to that betting window and slide it in right now, getting plus 140. Put the mortgage down, baby. They're a lot to get 9 wins if they're a playoff sleeper, right?
Because the thing is, 9-3 is not going to make the playoffs if you're Illinois.
No, it's not against that schedule. And here's the thing. They weren't that good last year. Their 10-3 record is not that great, especially if you see how they got it. They started off hot, and they had wins that looked good at the time at home against a ranked Kansas, and then on the road against a ranked Nebraska. Nebraska didn't make a bowl game. Kansas went like 7-5. They were not good teams. Then they went 3-3 over a stretch that was just bad football by them. The win against Nebraska was in overtime. They also beat another team in overtime. Do you know who that was, Casey? Their other overtime game?
No.
Who was the worst team in the Big Ten last year?
Northwestern?
No.
Purdue?
50-49 at home. They beat Purdue. All right. They lost at home to Minnesota. They had a good game against Penn State. They lost by 14, but it was a 7-point game with like 2 minutes left. Penn State scored to put it away.
I remember that.
Crushed by Oregon. It wasn't a competitive game at all. And then they go on a 3-game tear to end the year against Michigan State, Maryland, Northwestern. So they beat nobody who finished ranked in the regular season. They went 9-3, but beat nobody who was ranked, had 2 overtime wins against teams that didn't go to bowl games, including the worst team in the conference. Then they do upset South Carolina, who's ranked 15th at the time and was a borderline playoff team in their bowl game. And that's the main reason why they're getting this status is just on the bowl game. But look at the bowl games nowadays. Does anybody give them any actual credence when they're happening? No. Because unless it's a playoff game, nobody really cares, including the players. You never know about the give a damn in those games. So they're based off of that win is why they're here, basically. And they had a good record, but like I said, 2 overtime wins against bad teams. They were like 4-1 in one-score games, and that one loss was an 8-point loss at home to Minnesota, a team I think could actually be a sleeper. So Illinois, you're out. You're not being slept on. 2, you weren't that good last year. And look at Vegas doesn't think you're that good. I don't think you're that good. I think they go 8-4. I think I'd take the over on that, but just barely.
Yeah. I mean, for God's sake, but Michigan beat Bama last year in their bowl game. I don't think Michigan was a better team than Alabama last year. Those bowl games don't mean shit if it's not in the playoff, or if you're in maybe. Well, no, none of the games are. There's no CFP and then other big games anymore. It's just CFP games. So if you're not in the CFP, to me, it's like the best teams, their best players probably are either sitting out or they don't really care anymore. So I don't take those seriously. So Illinois, first of all, yeah, definitely not a sleeper. But having said that, I don't see them making the playoffs.
Yeah. And I'm not sure. And the question everybody asks too is who's the next Indiana? So Indiana, they're not a sleeper either. They're ranked 19th, but they're closer to almost being a sleeper because they're not they're being so not sold as like a real contender, even though they're 19th. And everybody's like, well, everybody's going to be focused on them. And yeah, everybody's going to be focused on Illinois too. Everybody's going to be focused on them. Who do they, and their schedule is a little bit harder. Like Illinois only plays Ohio State of the big three of Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. That's also why people are picking that. But I mean, Illinois also plays at Duke week 2. I think that could be an L. Duke is not a bad team. They're a very good defense. And Illinois is not a great offense. They're fine, but they're not great. Out on the road early, we see teams stumble like that all the time. At Indiana week 4. I mean, then Ohio State at Washington. These are all very losable. So begs the question, though, is who is it going to be? And I've got 3 teams that I think could be all Big Ten West teams: Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska. Good schedules, reasonably good schedules, reasonably good production coming back for all of them. Minnesota's defense, especially Iowa's defense, always good, and they got a transfer quarterback from the FCS level that could actually make them possibly a decent, a watchable offense for once, Casey. But they kind of got a tough schedule too. The third one is the always team that's about to come back, Nebraska. That's who I have as my sleeper. Nebraska's got the stud quarterback, so they hope. Raiola was not great as a freshman, but true freshmen never are that good, ever. They have a good schedule this year. He could be very good. Their defense could be very good. Matt Rule in year 3 has at Temple and Baylor was very good. Their season openers against Cincinnati on Thursday night, the 28th. After that, Akron, Houston, easy home games. Then they got Michigan at home. If they win that one, they're almost certainly 6-0 heading in at Minnesota, and what could be 2 sleeper teams playing in a huge game. Then Northwestern, USC, UCLA at Penn State to end the year, or no, second to last game. Then Iowa at home. Gets a little trickier there. They could be huge games, but I could easily see them being 10-0 heading into Penn State. So I got Nebraska as my sleeper for this year. And let me look up go ahead and pick yours while I look up what their odds are.
I was going to say Iowa just because that defense will keep you in pretty much every game. Now, I can't have those over-unders of like 22 and stuff like that. They need to start getting some points going. But, I mean, that's the great part about this new playoff system, and it might even expand even more. But at 12 teams, like before when it was 4 teams, your list of sleepers was probably very small because realistically, to make a 14 playoff, there's probably only 12, maybe 14 teams that have a realistic chance. Now with 12 teams, it's basically the entire top 25 has a chance, and then some. Really, just depends how it goes. Because, like you said, say Nebraska and Minnesota are head to head, and that's like I don't know what that would be. Probably like mid-October, something like that, halfway through the season.
October 17th.
Even if it's somebody's they lose, right? And it's their only loss, it doesn't matter. Like they can lose another game and be 10-2, and they're at least in the mix. That's what I love about the new playoff. Like, I consider myself a traditionalist with being a big Ohio State fan, but I think this is good for football, and that's what I love most about it is there's more teams that can potentially make it and feel like they have a chance. But other than Iowa, outside of the Big Ten, we've all picked Big Ten teams. I'll go with Utah because I don't know. They just seem to always be kind of a team hanging around, and I don't know. I feel like they can make a push towards the end and go 10-2 and just squeeze in there.
So Utah actually has higher odds, probably because they're in the Big 12, but they have better odds than Illinois. So I don't know if you can count them as sleeper. Plus 520. Nebraska, by the way, plus 620. not bad. I might throw a little coin on that to get in there. Because only Penn State as a team that they're just going to be flat out worse than when they play them. And I like their odds of like being in the mix up until that point. If they can get there with only one loss, there's a good chance they still make the playoff. Iowa, a little bit tougher schedule, but I like that pick too, especially with how good. I mean, Ferentz has put those type of seasons together before. Happens all the time. Their defense is always going to be good. Defenses travel too, so tough road games, and yeah, they do play. I know they play us, but they have a couple hard games that could make it hard, like more difficult to avoid a second loss. At Iowa State, who's ranked 18th to start. They have Penn State and Oregon, both at home, but they don't play us, sorry. But they have Penn State and Oregon at home. 3-game stretch of Penn State, Minnesota, Oregon. That's going to be tough. But they're all at home. All at home. Who did you say you like? Oh, yeah, Utah. But you're right. Utah's always in it. Always. Like, Whittingham's a good coach, and their quarterback's back for his, 30th season of college football.
Yeah.
I picked, for mine, also a Big 12 team, but Kansas State. And they have a huge one. Actually, CZ, they're plus 440. I can't even pick them. I'm going to pick somebody else. It's not going to be Texas Tech. That's not a sleeper either. Do I go to the ACC? I believe I do. I'll go to the ACC, and I'll take Louisville. They're plus 360. That's no good either. Because they brought in a talented quarterback transfer. They have two of the best running backs in the country, especially definitely in the ACC. They could make some noise. I'm not picking North Carolina.
What are our odds? Like minus 200?
Minus 310.
Wow.
Okay, I'll go Georgia Tech. I like their quarterback a lot. He's a stud. He struggled a little bit passing because he got hurt through the year, but he's put up huge passing numbers. He's put up huge running numbers. They're talented all around. Plus 680 right there. That's good, solid sleeper status. The ACC is not that great. Clemson should be the cream of the crop by a lot. If they can get through the season and make it to the ACC championship, and they're in the rankings, we saw that the committee won't punish you. I mean, they're going to have to play Georgia at the end of the year too. That'll be tough, but maybe Georgia is not as good as we thought they'd be, because I don't think Gunnar Stockton's all that he's backed up to be. Could be a win for Tech. Rivalry game. You never know what happens. If they win that game, they have a really good shot as long as they're 2 losses or less.
I'm expecting Clemson to be fighting for a bye.
I expect them to too. I think they're really good. Yeah. I've always liked Klubnik.
Yeah.
They had a lot of first-round type talents all over the field, really. They have good receiver. Like, what's the most important positions? Quarterback, receiver, DN. Their question, like a lot of teams, O-line. Like, it's been their problem even before they started falling off, really. Like, once we beat them in 2020, it's because their O-line wasn't very good. We were in Trevor Lawrence's face all day. Like, once they fell off on the O-line, that's when they started struggling to make the playoff. They wouldn't have made it last year without the new rules. Not even close.
No.
I think they're back enough though with everything else, and the ACC is so mediocre to bad behind them that I think they run through it. I mean, LSU tough first game though.
They're all over those top 10 player lists. They've had like 2 or 3 players on like all of them I've seen.
All right. Let's do a quick national championship, though. And I'll do plus 1,500 or more to win the national championship. Never mind. There's nobody worth that. I guess Notre Dame would be the only one there. I guess we'll do plus 1,000 or more. So no Georgia, Ohio State, Penn State, Texas, the 4 clear favorites really to win the national championship right now. Anybody you like as a mild sleeper over 10 to 1? Yeah, Bama and Clemson at plus 1,100, Oregon plus 1,200, LSU plus 1,400, Notre Dame plus 1,500. Then a precipitous drop off to Miami at plus 3,700.
I mean, out of all those, the best, I would say Notre Dame's your best bet, because you can almost guarantee they're going to make the playoffs just because of no conference and all that shit.
After their first 2 games, they got a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's probably your best bet. And then mean, you can't go wrong with Bama, but I feel like it's still to be seen what they're going to look like without Saban.
Bama's my pick, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's the clear one. I would say Notre Dame because I think they actually, I mean, I was impressed with them in the national title. Like, we had them foot on throat, and they didn't give up. So I like that fight in them. I mean, I feel like I said, with their schedule and no conference championship, all that stuff, you can almost guarantee they have to have top 5 odds to make the playoffs, I would think. Just because of their schedule and no champion. Like,
I don't think to make it because, like, I mean, Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Clemson for sure are going to have better odds because of their conferences and schedule.
Maybe not top 5, but they're definitely top 10. Like,
they are minus money to make it. Yeah,
so they'd probably be my pick because you get in the playoff, who knows? I mean, that's why I feel good about this year for the Buckeyes is I feel like Dave's a different animal when he gets in the playoff. If we get in there,
I agree.
I like our chances.
He seems to, for overall bowl games, save Missouri, which is just an outlier of outliers. He's had us ready to go.
Yeah.
Offensively, but no, offensively. Like, they have put together great game plans. Not good game plans, great game plans.
And even outside of Bama, every game has been a pretty damn good defense, like just overall good game.
Yeah.
And Missouri.
I mean, in Bama, Trey Sermon got hurt right away.
Yeah.
Totally threw it off. Like,
it did.
let me go here real quick. I have Bama as mine. Ty Simpson at quarterback. I think Jalen Millow hindered them the most last year. He was their biggest hindrance, even if he was such a good player, which, sometimes he was, sometimes he wasn't. That was the problem, though. When he was bad, and he cost them games. He's the reason they didn't make the playoff. They couldn't score against, not against Vanderbilt, but against Oklahoma. Couldn't score 3 points. Tough loss against Tennessee. Tough loss against Vanderbilt. Like, he was a good quarterback, but he had them at their floor. I think Simpson can be a little more of a distributor. It's not going to be so heliocentric around him. And Ryan Williams, I do think, is a freaking monster. And I think he got worn down. He was 17 years old, as everybody knows, because it got said a million times last year. Yeah. I think he did wear down as the season went on. Should be better this year. He's fast as hell. He's a great wide receiver. If Jeremiah wasn't around, everybody'd still be talking about him. And they have all that talent still there in the cupboard. Their O-line is full of freaks. They should be really, really, really good. And I think, giving me plus 1,100 on that. And Kalen DeBoer is a good coach. He's won everywhere. Like he didn't just suddenly become a bad coach last year. Tough situation. You lost a ton of guys in the transfer portal. You're getting used to new guys. He also brought his coordinator that he used to have at Washington. He wasn't with him last year. He's there now. That should be more simpatico. I just like what they have talent-wise, and getting them at a plus 10, 11 to 1 to win national championship there in a year that I don't see anybody being that dominant. Like, the team on paper that's most dominant is Penn State, and James Franklin's their coach.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. Penn State seems like the best team on paper, but when's the last time they beat us? How long's it been? 10 years?
When's the last time they beat a top 5 team?
Ever? Us
in 2016.
Yeah. So I'll believe it when I see it. I will never bet on them ever.
No. And even though it seems like it should be, it's just like, it's still James Franklin. He just finds a way to lose all these games. And it's not like everybody gave that today, but I'm like, well, Dave won and had great game plans and plenty of games. Penn State just doesn't, like, there's games. Our game last year, they should have won that game, especially they're 10-0. And we're playing guards at tackle, and people are just hurt everywhere. And they still figure out, I mean, like, weird things kind of happened too. The pick by Ignanos in the end zone was just a weird play. Wasn't really anybody's fault. And then the fourth down, though, they go for it, they get stuffed. Just that kind of stuff always happens to them, though. Always.
Yep. And I think the main reason they're the big favorite is just because they follow the the blueprint where Scum had all their guys come back and won a title, and then we did the same thing.
Mhm.
And then now they're sitting there. They got the most experienced quarterback, and you know, it just seems like clearly that's the easy choice to make, but they still have to beat us.
I mean, they do have a good schedule too. Oregon at home, but us on the road, that'll be tough. But if that should be their only 2 losses, if any. And I don't know, but then do they end up in the Big Ten title game? Do you want to end up in the Big Ten title game? I don't know. Probably now that they changed the seating, you do, but
Yeah.
It's just James Franklin being there. All right, but that'll do it for this podcast. Just a quick look at Sleepers. It was mainly a chance for me to vent about Illinois, the number 12 team in the country, in a 12-team playoff, being called a sleeper to make the playoff. What the hell? It makes no damn sense. But for the Dire Wolf, I'm just Matt. More college football thoughts coming in the future. Subscribe to our channel. We're going to be starting a website as well. You'll be able to find all of our podcasts, some blogs, some movie-related stuff, too, that we like to do. And no pictures of us because we're ugly. But so check all that out, though. Keep following us. For the Dire Wolf, I'm just Matt. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys! Whoa, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.